Cryptozoology is, by its very nature, elusive. Thus, we cannot say that we are exactly bringing you the facts, but we will do our best to help you see these mythical legends as we do. So sit back, relax, and wait. What's that behind you? Never mind. Enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Cryptids on Cryptids, episode 12. What do you think about that, Sid?
Well, ordinarily, I pick the cryptid for the weeks. We go out and we go on the internet and we delve and we find something. But I received a text from you at like 11 o'clock at night that just said, "The Squonk," in all caps, with a photo of this dude.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing this week. And if our listeners have not had the, I wouldn't say pleasure, but I'd say experience of seeing a photo of this thing, I would recommend that you turn to the internet and find one.
Or check our
doozy.
Twitter, because
check our Twitter.
We literally just now tweeted a picture out.
Yeah, it does have a name. It's called the Squonk.
I love that.
For those
I
of
love
you
that
who didn't get
already. Like, the Sqonk is just such a good name for a thing to have. You know?
It does really just sound like an onomatopoeia from a comic book.
Sqonk.
Like, they just put some vowels together and we're like, yeah.
Wait, do you think that's the sound that it makes? Just Sqonk.
I would like to... Like, I'm not sure if this thing follows Pokemon rules or not, though.
Sqonk!
I do gotta ask. Oh, no! I don't like that idea of that coming out of his face. I feel like this creature should not generate any sound.
What if it was a very, like, human-sounding, like, Sqonk?
That's almost even worse. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like in the TV show when the Pokemon had, like, very human-sounding voice actors, because I'm like, that's just a person saying that word trapped in that body, you know?
Yeah, like Mr. Mime.
I have a lot.
Or like Kadabra. Kadabra always sounded like a grown-ass man.
Any
like, Kadabra.
Has like a human sort of humanoid body, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't like. I just feel weird about it. I understand, but it's one thing to be like, yeah, like the Pikachu, go hit that guy because the Pikachu looks like a little monster, you know. But then having a Mr. Mime, at what point is that just a dude? You know?
Yeah. It's especially creepy because the actual like original Pokedex entry for Mr. Mime was like, he shows up at the houses of single mothers, and it's like, what? What?
What?
Yeah.
You know what? There are a lot of Pokemon, because there are like Pokemon that are supposed to be dead people as well, like Yamask and I think it's pronounced Cofferegus. But they're supposed to be like capturing the souls of dead archaeologists, and the faces they carry around are the faces of people. And I'm like, so those were people at one point.
Yeah. Also, the thing, like, Gengar is like the ghost of Clefairy. Like, okay.
Because Clefairy was supposed to be the Pokemon mascot, and Gengar was supposed to be the counterpoint. It was supposed to be a whole thing. And then Pikachu came on, and they were like, "Nah, wait, this guy's way cuter."
Yeah, look at this rat. Speaking of cute, let's go the exact opposite direction and continue to talk about the Sqonk. Because my only understanding of this thing is that A, it's called the Sqonk, B, it's really ugly, and C, it cries. And I'm not sure how any of those things line up, but I really, really need to know.
Okay, so I'm gonna be real. There wasn't a lot of information on this thing on the internet.
Okay.
Because this creature is supposedly native to Pennsylvania, so we have that going for him, which is nice.
Yeah.
But the first written, like, anything about this was in a book published in 1910 called The Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods. And
Okay.
actually, there is a transcript of this online, which I did find.
Oh, sick.
And it breaks it down, and they're like, here are all these different creatures that live in this area, and it talks about them. The Sqonk has one page,
One
and they
page.
just dunk on him the whole time.
Seems
The
fitting.
whole time.
It's called
Yeah.
the Squonk. Like, what more do
Yes.
you need to say? Apparently a whole page is worth.
Apparently a whole page is worth. Most of them is that this thing is ugly. They use a lot of words to get through basically 4 points.
Yeah.
The first one is that it lives in Pennsylvania, and very few people outside of Pennsylvania has ever heard of it because it lives in these hemlock forests, which I thought was the poisonous plant, like hemlock poison.
Yeah.
But
it's not.
Apparently,
it's the tree one.
Similar to the spruce tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second is
weirdly on that point of like no one outside of Pennsylvania knows about it. I actually did not know about it until like when I sent you that text. I was staying overnight in Pennsylvania on my way up to my apartment. Like
so. You say that, but what I'm hearing is you enter the state of Pennsylvania and you gain immediate knowledge of this thing.
yes.
That
is what happened.
Have I been to Pennsylvania? I don't think I've been to Pennsylvania. I've been around Pennsylvania.
If you've gone to Maine, you've been in Pennsylvania.
I flew to Maine, though, so does that count?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe it does for Squonk purposes, because you seem to understand this thing.
Yeah, because I looked at... So basically... We'll get to my bit where I dunk on Pennsylvania for a little bit.
Okay.
Pretty much what happened was they decided they were good at woods, so good at woods, in fact, that they could write a book on all the different scary creatures that lived in the woods. And then they decided this one was going to be super ugly and just awful. And they did that.
That's amazing. I love that.
Cause
I love this whole thing about the Sqonk just being like some stupid idiot in the woods.
They're like, we're so good at woods that we know creatures that you guys haven't even heard of. I bet you've never heard of the Sqonk, because it only exists here and you only see it in our forests. So we wrote a book about it and how stupid it is. They didn't even write a book. They wrote 1 page on this thing. And they're like... I said there were 4 points, and I only got to the first one. It only lives in Pennsylvania. It's crepuscular. They say retiring disposition, but it's just crepuscular. It's awake at twilight and dusk. And
okay, yeah.
It's
same with the Watchers. Maybe that's what the Watchers are looking for, is this Sqonk.
I really hope not, because we're about to get to what this thing looks like.
Oh?
It's said to have misfitting skin covered with warts and moles.
Ew! Wait, what?
Yeah.
So its skin doesn't fit? Okay, this is really important. Is it too tight or is it too loose?
No, it's too loose. It's like if you were to take a pug's face and just make it the whole body. You know?
Does it have fur?
No.
Okay. So it's like a pug and a hairless cat. And from what I understand, also a pig.
Roughly. They have hairless guinea pigs. And that's like, if you were to take a hairless guinea pig and just add a whole bunch of extra skin, it would kind of be the same thing, roughly, except this thing is big.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that, like, it doesn't sound that bad, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief, but the only thing that gives me pause is the fact that they're like, it is unhappy all the time.
Oh.
You can track it because it cries so much that you can follow the tears and find this thing based on how much it cries.
Wait, really?
Yes, because it just weeps constantly. Just like crying all the time.
Okay, but then it must also be hydrating constantly.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it would have to. This is the part that I hesitated on telling you when we were talking a little bit earlier before we started this recording about this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Here's its primary defense mechanism. And why I am so angry at this creature, because I really don't think it's that bad. This is the one bit where I, from my scientific standpoint, get pissed. when cornered, an escape seems impossible, or when surprised and frightened, you know how like a lizard drops its tail?
Yeah.
That's the thing that they do?
Uh-oh. What does this thing do?
You've seen that, like geckos dropping their
Yeah,
tails.
yeah, I'm just dreading what comes next.
This thing cries so hard that it dissolves.
What?
Yeah, like just stops existing. Like it cries so hard, it just liquefies.
What?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna be
Because,
honest, that's way weirder than what I thought. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I
yeah.
thought, because
What did you think?
you prepositioned it with, you know how a lizard sheds its tail, and I thought, oh no, this thing sheds its skin. And I was
No.
about to be very, very disgusted. Well, liquefying
No.
itself?
Yeah.
What?
Like the tears just, like it cries so hard it just stops existing.
That's amazing?
I'm not
Weird?
sure.
It's not that scary. This thing doesn't seem that. See, I wanted to do the Squonk because it doesn't seem as scary as the other things. Because we've done the Dark Watchers and the giant spiders the last couple weeks, and those things creepy and scary and spooky, and I didn't like them very much, especially not those spiders. But this thing, it's just weird.
It's not even weird, it's just bad.
It's
Like,
just bad.
like, if you consider this from a reproductive standpoint, if your primary defense mechanism is to stop existing, that's not a good one.
Can it re-solidify after it liquefies?
No!
Oh.
It just stops existing.
Okay, well, so when I was like, it needs to hydrate a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my thoughts was, maybe
It's made of water.
it stores water in the folds of its skin, right?
Like a platypus? With the milk?
Well, see, that's like a lactation patch, and that's like something that happens, you know? Like, we see that in other mammals, like other marsupials and shit.
They gotta squish down to,
But I'm saying, like, you know how you can stretch your skin out? It can stretch its skin out much further than that, and then makes a little pocket and puts some water in there.
See, that sounds very scientific, and my idea was just water balloon. That when these things are born, they're giant and round and rotund, but as they continue crying, their skin looks like ill-fitting because it was designed to hold a lot of water, and they're just crying all the time, so they're constantly getting rid of it. And then they come to a point where there's no more water, and they just collapse.
Interesting. That's a good theory too.
So, water balloon theory.
Water balloon theory.
But that works for a water balloon. This is an animal. This is a creature that should be doing
This
things,
is a living,
and it does
breathing,
not.
crying creature.
Constantly crying.
Does it make crying sounds?
I think so, because they're said to like. All the stuff said about this thing is so, like, judgmental, I guess.
Yeah, judgy.
Like, if somebody wrote an entire Wikipedia about me and just mentioned 6 times the fact that I cry so much I can't do anything productive, I think I'd be really sad. You know? Like, I don't think that's gonna help.
Like,
but they're like...
From the, like, short glimpse I got of this creature as I was, like, just frantically typing to send you this, it, like, part of the thing was that it cries so much that, like, because it's ugly and because it can't do anything.
That is why it's said to cry. That because it's so bad at doing things, it cries all the time to kind of make up for that. And the fact that it is so ashamed of its appearance, its camouflage mechanism is just to not move and hide in plain sight and continue to cry. So, like...
continue to cry. That's important, I feel.
They just keep mentioning that this thing is constantly just in tears.
Yeah.
And
it's a sad lad.
So, a very sad lad. But, like, I'm going to stop and we're going to pause for a moment and we're going to talk about the fact that this thing had hunters. Like, people went out to find this thing.
Really?
Like, that was their express purpose, yeah.
They wanted to find this thing that cries all the time. If you want something
Yes.
that cries all the time and has loose-fitting skin, have a child.
Oh, no!
Are you okay?
Oh, no! Yeah, I'm fine. Oh my god. All I could picture is, like, we've talked about this before, that I'm usually bad with, like, newborn babies because they come out and I will generally refer to them as fresh babies instead of newborns because I feel like it's better.
Oh, this one?
But, like,
Fresh.
I was like, it's a fresh baby. He's less than 6 months old. That's a fresh baby.
Points to adult. Ripe baby.
It's a stale baby.
Oh.
Like, I don't... So then I think of that. Anytime I look at an infant, I'm just kind of like, I understand that, like, little kids are cute. I don't know what to make of infants. Like, they're so fragile and tiny, and then you said they look like the Squonk, and all I could think of is, oh my god, you're right. And then I went to, like, what if the Sqonks were just babies that got Jersey Deviled part way and just ended up in the woods and didn't ever progress?
Yeah, you know all those stories about parents leaving their kids in the woods, like especially in like old-timey times.
Old-timey times?
Yeah, maybe this is what happened to them.
That's very possible. All I can think of is that the devil who made the person who made the Jersey Devil the most effective baby and had to immediately negate that by making the Sqonks the least effective babies.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, we're gonna go back to, they did have hunters for this thing.
It did. Interesting.
And, yeah, they were the most successful on frosty, moonlit nights where it could be heard weeping under the boughs of the hemlock trees. So...
Interesting.
Because they were the most successful on frosty nights specifically, because the thing would cry slower. So, like, the trail would be easier to follow, I guess. And also, it didn't move quite as quick, so this thing doesn't like the cold.
So it doesn't like the cold.
Probably because it doesn't have any fur.
Probably because it's got water in all the skin folds. And when that starts freezing up, you know, it's hard to move.
Yeah. No. Not good. Not a good time. Do you reckon his little joints would crack?
His little joints? I kind of assumed that this thing did not have joints, that it operated on the same kind of functionality as flubber.
Like it just bounces along in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, this is fitting really well with water balloon theory.
I enjoy water balloon theory for this guy. He's just a wrinkly, sad water balloon.
The squonk is the noise it makes when its body just hits the ground.
Squonk, squonk, squonk. Just bouncing down a hill.
Imagine being in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. You're a lumbersmith. You're just cutting trees down all day, and you come across one of these dudes just crying like a baby in the middle of the woods, and it bounces out with no limbs.
It just bounces, goes squonk, squonk, squonk.
I think I'd resign. Like,
yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. It's like, it's got a retired disposition, but that actually means that it makes people retire, because honestly, fuck that.
They just go home. Like, I don't know how my brain would even process that. I'd see that thing moving in real life and be like, no, we're good.
Okay, this brings me to the important question. Did any of these hunters ever catch it?
Yes, but actually no.
Okay.
So
walk me through this.
Okay. We talked about the primary defense mechanism just being to dissolve into goo, right? Like the crying so hard it just dissolves into a puddle of tears.
It's goo?
Okay.
That's
it's goo and also snot.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk about that. This is how we know it's also snot. So Mr. J.P. Wentling, then they talk about that he was formerly of Pennsylvania, now it's in Tantanite Park, Minnesota, had a disappointing experience with a squonk near Mont Alto.
Is there any other kind of experience you can have with a squonk?
I'm trying to tell you, every record we have of this thing is just getting dunked on over and over and over. It's just layup after layup, just on this poor thing. He can't even be bigger than, like, and this is how I know, he can't even be, like, bigger than what I'm assuming is, like, a dog.
Like a dog.
Because,
yeah, or like a pig. Like, that's kind of what I was thinking, was like a domesticated pig.
Yeah. 'Cause some pigs are real big. Like, a hog is huge.
Yeah, the wild ones, beef. Well, actually, pork. But big is my point.
Chunky. Yeah, wild hogs are big. Some in-captive pigs are big, too.
It's true.
I talk about the fact that pigs do... Like, out of any farm animal, pigs probably scare me the most. I'm gonna be real. I'm chill with horses, I'm chill with cows, but I don't like pigs.
Yeah, pigs are terrible. It's mostly because they'll just eat anything in front of them, including a person.
That's the thing! Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of something, throw it in a pig pen. And I'm like, I don't like that.
This includes corpses. Hey, this is not informational. Don't do that. Shush.
Don't do that.
No. Don't do that.
But
you can, but
don't.
You can, but don't. And I cannot stress this enough.
No, it's just the fact that you're not supposed to, like, go into a pig pen because they will just eat you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go in. You just stay on the outside and feed them and hope for the best. And I'm like, yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Literally, like, the day that I found out that they will eat a human, like later that day, it was reported, like, hey, this old farmer fell into his pig pen, and his pigs ate him whole. I was like,
they will.
While he was alive? And the news was like, yeah, while he was alive, just got eaten.
Yep. They will. So not really... I mean, pigs are smart, but
terrible.
You know, I mean, they're not that smart.
Yeah.
They're plenty smart, but they're not... Common sense and intelligence are two different things.
Yeah, they will bite the hand that feeds them and the rest of you while they eat you whole.
And also the fence and the trough and other pigs.
Yep. Smaller things that are laying on the ground, yeah, they'll just eat them.
They'll just eat them. Because chickens will do roughly the same thing.
Oh, yeah, but chickens...
People forget about
that. Chickens are dumb as all fuck. They don't even have a little bit of common sense. Which I feel like pigs have a little bit, you know?
And they use it to be mean.
Yes. They're actively malicious. Which...
They're mean.
It seems like if a pig was not malicious, it would be a squonk.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like it would be.
Yeah, I feel like if you remove the hatred from a pig, somehow, with like a magical spell or something, it would be a squonk.
Because, like, this is how he caught it. He mimicked the squonk sound, so he just probably cried a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And, like, coaxed it to hop into a sack.
Okay.
He just sat there and cried until the squonk came up and got in a bag, which... I feel like there's a PSA in there somewhere.
Yeah, don't get into a bag if someone sounds
Don't get into a bag. That's a Twilight Zone plot right there. Somebody comes up to you and says in your voice, get in the bag. Don't.
I'd be like, fuck, I know what I'm talking about. So if I'm saying it, must be important.
No.
Gets in bag.
Do not.
Okay, yeah. Actually, don't get in bags.
Yeah.
Or,
don't get in bags.
Yeah, if someone says anything to you in your voice,
if someone has your voice, yeah,
run.
No, leave.
Get out.
Unless you have a twin, and then ask them kindly why they're asking you to get into a bag. But like, no. So he sat there and he cried, and the squonk got in the bag.
Oh, okay.
And then when he was carrying it at home, he's like, suddenly the burden lightened, and the weeping ceased.
Oh no.
So then he looked in the bag and there was nothing but tears and snot bubbles.
That's so... Okay. Have we considered... So we know that it, like, cries enough to leave a trail. Have we considered that these things can just teleport?
No, but the only reason I haven't is because there can't be anything in there. Like, there can't be any organs. Like, it's a water balloon of a creature. Like, I don't want to, he just dissolves. Like, everything just goes away. They named a scientific process after this guy.
Really? What is the process?
Yeah. It's called chemical squonking.
Okay, but what happens in this chemical squonking? I need to know.
Some substances, so, like, you can get things, some substances are, like, stable in a solution, but they can't be isolated or captured without catalyzing their own polymerization or decomposition, which is, like, dissolving in their own tears. So, like, this is just the example listed on the first thing under this is a carboxylic acid moiety and an acylic label moiety might be stable when initially prepared, but unstable is the free acid, and so they've been named chemical squonks as a nod to the creature. So, like, enough scientists know about this guy to be like, hey, these chemicals sometimes go so hard that they stop existing, like, dissolve in their own tears.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, is, like, if the load lightened, like, I feel like if it dissolved completely, like, the weight would remain the same, you know?
Because I'm like, here's what happened. It cried so hard, it became water, and water's not going to stay in a sack, you know? So it's just going to, like, drain out.
Maybe it was a real good sack.
So this guy's just going to hear a giant splash, turn around, and there's no squonk, but he now does have a sack full of snot, which I do not like.
A sack full of snot. I mean, that's kind of what this thing is anyway, so, like, he did catch it, kind of.
I mean, yeah, he's not technically wrong, but he's not technically right either.
Okay, but, like, see, they still, like, they leave the a puddle, you know? Maybe they just leave a bigger puddle when they teleport. Maybe it's like Abra, it just doesn't like to be caught, so it just teleports away.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Could be.
They just bounce so high that they leave this plane of existence.
I don't think it's even bouncing, because, like, how do you get out of the sack if you bounce?
That would involve teleportation. But then I'm also like, this thing dissolves in its own tears. That implies that its tears are either A, capable of dissolving things, or B, it just gets all the liquid out and then just decomposes, like, on the spot. Which...
Yeah?
I do not like. And I do feel bad for this little guy. Because I understand that in most of these, they do dunk on this guy a lot. And he does make me angry because I can't think of any way that he would exist in, like...
In, like, the real world.
The real world. But he does look... Like, there's just something cute about him. That he sits there and he cries because he's so sad. That he can't he can't be good at things. And I'm like, don't feel bad. But then I know that if I get anywhere near him, it's gonna stress him out so bad that he stops existing. Which
is not
honestly mood.
Honestly, not great. But we can work from
not
this.
Not great. All I can think of is, like, do you gotta get him blinders? But if you give him blinders, will that also stress him out so much that he cries? Like, at what point does this guy function? What stresses him out? Is the only thing that makes him happy vibing in the woods and crying all the time?
I mean, it certainly doesn't seem like it makes him happy because he's crying all the time.
I get it, but, like, how do we fix him? How do we make him better? What do we gotta do? What's he need? What's he want?
I don't know, maybe... I don't know. Have any other hunters tried to get this dude? I'm really curious about this.
Like, they sent people out, is the thing. But that's the only guy who's like, I actually got one. Or at least the only guy who I could find that actually got one.
Well, he didn't
because a lot of the references...
He's still the one that... The Sqonk is still the one that got away. And here's my thing about it.
Yes.
Maybe he's like Moby Dick. He's there.
Yeah.
And he's a tantalizing prize for this captain who forgot his boat and that he should be on the water. And what was his name again? What was this lad's name? That tried to catch the Sqonk?
The Sqonk?
No, that tried to catch the Sqonk.
Oh. J.P. Wentling.
J.P. Wentling. Okay, that's so close to J.P. Wentworth.
It really
Okay.
is.
So J.P. Wentling goes out. He's like, I'm going to catch this Sqonk. He dissolves. Oh, no. I'm going to catch this Sqonk. He goes out again. And, like, literally, he evades him at every turn. Maybe J.P. Sqonk... J.P. I almost called him J.P. Sqonk.
J.P. Sqonk.
Maybe J.P. Wentling died in these woods looking for this Sqonk. Trying to get him. Because he just kept dissolving and or teleporting. We don't know. All I'm saying is...
Yeah.
Moby Dick.
Wait, did you just say Mopey?
Yeah.
No! No! You had so much build up, and then you left me in a pun. Oh, I'm angry.
Okay. Then, like...
No, I really thought you were gonna come out here and tell me that he should have just gone out with a harpoon gun to get one of these guys. Because I was like, this probably makes me a little morbid, but I was like, if you shoot it before it dissolves, does it just die or does it just dissolve on contact of death? Like, what do you need to get this thing to stay in physicality and not in a puddle?
Maybe a bowl?
Here's a bowl of Sqonk tears.
We got the Sqonk.
Sqonk juice.
That's a cauldron full of snot. No, it's the Sqonk. We got him. Okay. I do have one more.
Coaxed him in by crying at him.
I do have one more theory for you.
Hit me.
So, we've talked about how it's got, like, wrinkly skin, right?
Yes.
You know what else seems like wrinkly skin?
If you look me dead in the face and say feathers, I'm gonna cry.
I was gonna say folded bat wings.
Oh, I'm listening.
So, or what we would call featherless wings.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Alright.
this thing's a bird. Just don't got any feathers.
They took his feathers away and that's why he's crying.
That's why
he can't
he's
fly
crying.
anymore.
It's like Maleficent when
he's
she got
so
mad
sad.
about them taking the wings. And yeah, that's my theory. So maybe this thing's a bird.
It's so sad. He's like a kenku. You gotta give him wings so he can fly.
Oh,
Let
I
him be
feel like
free.
he does have wings, because, like, instead of teleporting, maybe he flies away.
He just flies
Yeah,
real
he
fast.
just... Zoom.
That's why all they can find is a puddle, because they accelerate so quickly they liquefy on impact.
Liquefy on takeoff. Maybe that's why, is they're like a bird and they know that they can't fly. And that's why they're so sad, is they're like, if I try to take off, I'll go too fast and I'll die.
Yeah, it could be why it's also their primary defense mechanism too.
Yeah, they try to fly
they're a prey
away.
animal. They have to run, and they're like, my last ditch attempt is to fly away, and it's just like splash,
Sploosh. Splish, splosh, splash. Oh.
That's so unfortunate. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. Maybe.
Maybe.
Alright.
But I do.
Yeah.
I keep stuttering, because, like, I try to think of a way that, like, properly expresses how I feel about this thing, because I get this weird mix of, like, immense sympathy and, like, empathy, and I just look at him, and I want to keep him safe, but then I also know that if I got anywhere near him, it would be like
death.
his immediate doom. And, like...
I feel sad.
I feel bad. Because then you look at all these websites and everything, and everybody's just dunking on this guy. He's doing no harm. He's not even predatorial.
Yeah,
like,
what does he do,
A lot of the
actually?
other cryptids you find, nothing. He cries. That's it.
Really?
That's all I
He
have.
cries and
There's no
apparently
record of
chugs
eating
Gatorade.
Or, like...
Just chugs Gatorade.
IV drips it. Like, it has to be.
You gotta stay hydrated. How? How does this man stay hydrated? How does this funky little pig lad stay hydrated? Like, how?
I can't stay hydrated, and I'm like a whole human with access to running water.
Right?
It's not even 20 feet away, and I
Like,
still
think about
can't.
it.
I still can't do it.
Squonk cries 24/7. How do you stay hydrated?
Yeah. I don't.
You're losing fluids.
The only thing I
You're
can think
losing
of
electrolytes.
is like maybe they drink their own tears, but then I'm like, I'm pretty sure that doesn't make the hydration go
Yeah,
back
I
in.
don't think it does.
I don't think so. I just. Because I was like, it can't be that bad. And then everybody dumped on this thing for like at least 3 separate articles and also a handwritten book in 1910. And I'm like,
Handwritten book.
no wonder this guy cries all the time. Every human he's ever come into has either killed him or laughed at him or both.
Now I kind of want to go look for him
All
and
he
be like,
wants
hey,
to-
it's okay, bud.
It's alright.
It's okay.
Somebody tell them they're okay. Send them like a good thank
Send
you
them, like,
card through the postal
Yeah.
service. Like,
Send him like a nice,
Give him-
loving letter.
yeah. Do you think that'd help? Do you reckon they can read? That's another good question. I feel like if we just send them a piece of cardboard, it's not going to go over too great.
I mean, at the very least, they'll eat it because they're kind of like pigs, it seems.
I don't know if they are though or not, because usually this is the point where I get to talk about that they've like eaten people or like that they've fought somebody. They haven't done that. Like there's no mysterious disappearances in record with these guys. There's no like bad human encounters with these guys. There's nothing. Every human who bumps into him takes one look at him and he just dissolves into a puddle of tears. He's just sad. He's just so unbelievably sad. And I feel almost guilty. Because I was like, we're going to have this episode and we're going to tell people about him and they're going to go online and dunk on this guy. Don't dunk on this guy.
Don't dunk on him.
I know we dunked on him.
Yeah,
but,
we
like,
did.
Don't.
But, like, that's enough. It's good now. It's fine. Just give him like a hug and a nice note, but don't actually touch him because he'll dissolve.
Don't actually touch him because he'll
and
dissolve.
you don't want to be covered in snot, but like, I don't know. Send him that that GIF where it's like virtual hug. Yeah, send him that.
Get him one of those pop-up birthday
Do you think
cards.
he has an iPhone?
Like you open it up.
Or like,
I don't know. I feel like at some point he would have to upgrade to technology. But like,
technology, yeah.
I feel like social media wouldn't be good for him.
Wouldn't be good for him? No. I don't think social media is good for anyone.
If he gets online, it's not. But like this dude especially, if he's already insecure and he's not feeling great, and he goes online, like that's not gonna go over well.
Yeah, I mean, really.
He pulls up, he's like, wow, I should search my name on the internet. And the first thing that comes up is a Wikipedia article where they dunk on him the whole time. And that's Wikipedia. That's like a...
That's like an encyclopedia. Like, it's supposed to be
That's like an encyclopedia. Yeah. And they do... Oh my god.
Wait.
So many good hits.
Sid, have we considered? Maybe those are the facts. Maybe this guy's just a lame-o.
I don't want to believe that. He looks so sad.
He does look sad. He looks like he deserves more.
Like, he looks like he deserves better. Like, it just seems like life has been awfully cruel to this dude and all of his friends who...
Oh, man.
Oh my god, I just can't...
Sqonk.
I can't get my
Are there
head
any
around
more,
it.
like...
Your primary defense mechanism is crying.
And he does it all the time. Why are you so defensive?
Like-
huh, bud?
What happened? Who hurt you? Probably the humans who popped up and tried to hunt your friends and they just exploded. Like...
It doesn't seem right.
Like, we didn't even stop to talk about the fact that they sent out people to find this
Okay,
thing.
yeah, tell me about that. I want to know what these expeditions were like. How much did they invest in this?
I don't know, because it won't say. They're like, they sent out Sqonk hunters, so that implies that there were groups of them that went to go
hunters,
do this.
there's long hunters, like Squire, and then there's Sqonk hunters, who are a joke.
What do you hunt? I hunt the elusive squonk. Oh, is it dangerous, like a bear or a wolf with teeth and claws? No. It just sobs at me so hard it dies.
No, it's like a wet balloon.
They didn't even have balloons. Like,
They're just like, no, it's just wet and sad. It's just wet and sad, and it hates its life. And so I'm gonna go hunt it. And it's like, oh, are you gonna go kill it and like put it out of its potential misery? And it's like, no, I'm gonna get it alive.
Oh my god, they literally are. They're trying to just keep him alive. This is not even the point. Imagine being a hunter where your job is just to get something before it gets itself. Like,
Oh my god.
they're like, alright, James, your job this week is to go out and hunt this creature. Oh, am I gonna have to, like, come with a gun, like, or a knife? What do I need for it? Nets, traps? And they're like, no, just get it not to die. And he's like
a real big cup, John. A real big one. You gotta get the whole thing.
Paper, slide it underneath. And don't make eye contact with it. If you make eye contact with it, it's gone.
Either it's a bird and it flies away so fast it dies, or it just implodes anyway, or it teleports. We don't know, but you gotta get it, John.
You gotta bring it back,
Bring it back. Well, why do we want it? I don't. It's such a like weird creature, and like no one's caught one before, and it's like, okay, well, I guess that's cool. What's it do? It cries. It cries a lot, John. It cries so much, John. It's like, why would I want that? Why would I want that?
Why? Why would you need that? Why would you
want that alive in your home?
Or like a zoo. That's the saddest zoo exhibit ever. You go to a zoo in 1910 in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, in the woods, and they're like, yeah, we got a zoo. What's it got in it, you know? And they walk in, and you can't even see it. It's just in like a one-way mirror box, so you can see in, but it can't see out, and it just sobs.
Just sits there and sobs. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Does it eat anything? Can I ask you that?
No.
Like, I feel like I've asked you that before because I'm expecting like an answer. Like, is it an herbivore or just like, maybe it just hasn't figured out how to eat and it's just so fucking hungry?
That could be why its skin is like that, though. Could be. But usually if things don't eat, they become emaciated and not wrinkly.
Well, actually, if you're of like a larger weight and then you don't eat for a long time, that kind of happens. So maybe your theory about them being born just super big and rotund is correct.
Where they just come out with all the nutrients they ever need for their whole life and then they explode eventually.
Yeah. The only thing they do is drink water.
Ordinarily, yeah. Because I usually do talk about the diets that these things eat. Mm-hmm. But, like, there's no records of... The only thing they have are, like, the Sqonk hunters, which were, like, people who came in the logging camps and they were like, alright, we're going to find this thing in the woods. Because I guess it was crying and annoying them. That was the main reason why they went out to go find it, was that it was just so annoying that they decided they wanted it gone.
Okay, yeah.
Which, sure. But they were like, there's nothing. Like, it doesn't eat anything, it didn't steal any food, it just sits nearby and sobs. Like, so loudly that they sent out hunters to go and get this thing to stop sobbing, and then when they found out when you get near it, it just explodes, they sent more, because at this point, that's a challenge.
Yeah. Moby Dick.
We're
back on it. It is a challenge.
We're back on it. Like, imagine you live in Pennsylvania in, like, 1910, and you go to your logging camp, and you know nothing about the outside world. And you meet all these new people for the first time, and you're like, yo, what do you do for fun? And they're like, well, sometimes we hear crying from the woods, so we go out with sacks and cry back at it, hoping that it will just get in.
Have you ever got one? JP got one.
Technically.
Kinda. What does that mean? Well, as soon as we got it in the sack, it dissolved. What? Dissolved. Yeah, completely. What? Yeah.
Right into snot.
Just
Gone.
snot bubbles everywhere, lots of tears. How do you know it was tears?
It was real gross.
We tasted it.
Somebody must have tasted it. No!
Okay. Okay.
Like, what do you do? Like, you just join in at that point? Like, you can't tell those people no. Obviously, they've seen some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
If someone told me that, I'd be like, yeah, sign me the fuck up. I want to see what's going on. Like, that's what happened with this episode, right? Like, I saw this thing online and I was like, I need to know more.
so you were like, here's this creature, and I'm like, what is it? What is he? He technically has, like, a Latin name, which is Lacrima Corpus Dissolvens, which basically comes... Yeah, tear, body, and dissolve are the 3 Latin words it's mostly made up from.
That's actually amazing. I love that.
Because they were like, oh, it dissolves when captured. I guess we'll name it that then. So, like, I don't even have anything to pull from off of things that look like this. Because, oh, yeah. And this is another thing that I probably should have mentioned. They won't go... Oh, yeah, because this ties into the hydration thing. They won't go near illuminated bodies of water.
Illuminated bodies of water.
Because they can see their reflection.
Oh.
They won't go near it. So they're slowest on the moonlit nights as they try to avoid seeing their ugly appearance in any illuminated bodies of water, and they're supposed to have webbed toes on only their left feet.
Weird.
So they can swim, but only halfway.
Only kinda.
And they keep moving because if they stand for too long, their tears will cool up, and they will be able to see themselves in the puddle. So they have to keep moving. Which is just such a sad, so sad.
It's a rough existence, that one is. And I kind of feel bad for the Sqonk, but at the same time, I'm in the same place as all these people that wrote articles and all that stuff. And honestly, like, I kind of feel like dunking on it. Like, I'm sure we did plenty in this episode, but...
I think we did. I think we really did pile onto this guy at least a little bit. But if he's listening, I just want him to know, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's alright. It's alright.
This is humanity's problem. This isn't on you. This is, we see something and we're like, yeah, let's dunk on that. And that's about it. You know? That's on us.
Some scientist named some cool stuff after
you. Yeah, you got science named
that's
after
pretty neat.
You. That's cool.
Granted, it's based off of something that I don't understand how it's biologically possible, so if you could send, like, an email my way, I'd really appreciate it, just to, like, for personal reasons.
And, yeah, on that, cheerful note, I think it is time to wrap up the episode.
Yeah. Thanks for coming along with us on this journey, guys. This was
a journey.
Cool. White.
I love the Sqonk. I don't ever want to see one, but I love it.
This is the first one you said you wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be fair.
You walk up and it's just like already in tears.
It's already in tears. Like I pity it too much to fight it. It's like Frodo with Smeagol.
Yeah. I just can't do it, man. They're too pure, too good for this world. Too miserable. Like, there's nothing you can do to this guy that he probably hasn't already thought about and cried about.
Yeah. I mean, he lives alone in the woods. Like, avoiding puddles of water so he can't...
They're never seen in packs, by the way.
Yeah, because I feel like he knows what he looks like, and he looks like that one. And so, like, they don't want to see that.
They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that.
It already knows it's super ugly.
just get so angry. How do these things reproduce? What happens?
I don't know. That's not even a
But
question
I
want to
can't dwell
ask
on that.
or answer. I don't want to think about these
I don't want to
wrinkly,
think
gross,
about it. I don't
moldy
want to think about
things
it.
reproducing.
Don't. I made a mistake.
Yeah, you brought it up. All
I made
right,
a
now it
mistake.
is time to end
I
the
did.
episode. So I did want to say to everyone listening, share this. Like if you enjoyed it, if you had a fun time here, like share this. Like share it with your friends, share it online. You can hit it with the hashtag Cryptids on Cryptids. We'll definitely go like all your stuff. Like we're monitoring that hashtag. So if you want to go tweet about it and share it, that would be so much appreciated.
Yeah, we really do appreciate all the support you guys have given to this
Yeah.
series so far, and we're super excited to keep growing and keep working on this. If you'd like to support us in other places, you can drop a subscribe on our YouTube. You can, again, like and share the video. Or you can check out our Twitter, which is @OnCryptids on twitter.com. And if you want to come hang out with us, we stream on
every Thursday,
Saturdays.
Right now, from 8 to 10, and then additionally, I stream on Saturday from 8 to 10 as well. On Thursday, we're there to hang out and chat with you guys and answer questions about the podcast if you have any, or just kind of like, hang out. It's a good time. Don't pay attention to the cult that's been slowly building. Don't worry about it. Shush.
Don't worry about it. I legally have to worry about it.
No, it's fine.
Because they did put a hit on me.
Only in game. It's fine.
Only in game. It's fine. But
yeah.
Come hang out. Join the Cube cult or be like me and fight against it. Up to you. Pick your side.
Pick a side. The war is coming.
Pick a side. The war is coming.
Yeah, and I think that's about all we have for you. So, once again, please go ahead and share this episode. We would appreciate it so much. But until next time, we'll see y'all in the woods. Oh, wow, we actually got it that time.